Hello, good morning. This is Princess Suri coming to you guys live on Facebook. My video today is to touch on a subject of unity and then how we are all related in Ghana. Those that are in denial, that's fine. You can deny as much that you want. Some people in Ghana seems to have the idea that the Northerners become part of the Southern people simply because of cocoa farms. Some of it is a little bit true, and majority is a lie. What we don't know about our history is that the Ghanaians, some of us, majority of us, migrated out of the north and descend into the west. The Northerners were the first people that left because of where we hold in power to come and settle in the northern Ghana. Later on, our brothers and sisters came and decided to continue down into south. Some I know may believe what I'm saying, some may not believe it. Later on, due to cocoa farming, few people migrated in the south for farming. And due to slavery, majority of our ladies were left in south, the northerners women, due to the point that there was most beautiful women in the whole entire Ghana. And there is no any tall person or a light-skinned person in South that have not a northern blood in you. Anybody that is tall, light-skinned, the most beautiful woman descend from the north. There's no battle or anything, that's the truth. Anyone can disagree whatever they want. You have your opinion, your right to disagree. And the third subject, if we deny all that, I'm going to use my own mother culture and traditions to let people know how related we are. And people seems to have a thinking with ideas that is a myth or is due to cocoa farming or whatever it is. The Sisala clan my mother came out of, their tradition on marriage is that when you marry a Sisala woman, in their tradition, you are not married to them. The children of that Sisalo woman belong to the Sisalo woman family. They are brothers. We have the same tradition as the Ashanti Wafade, the Sisalo tradition, and the Sisalo people my mother descended out of. That's their tradition too. The day my grandmother died was the day my family went and marry my mother with a goat, lamb, all the traditional things that they're supposed to take to marry my mother after my grandmother passed away to claim the children. It's the same thing that they do in the South. That's one of our similarities and then our traditions that are intertwined. Another thing that I want to talk about, this even has nothing to do with only Ghana. It's not only Ghana, it's the whole Africa. What we have in common, how we are related. If you go to South Africa, they eat TZ over there. If you go to East Africa, they eat TZ. If you come to the north, they eat TZ. If you come into West Africa, we eat TZ. We have different names for it. When you go back to South and East Africa, some call it Posha, some call it Ugali. You come to the north of Ghana, we call it TZ. You come into Accra, they call it Kenke. The Fantis call it Fanti Kenke. They always use it as Banku. They even have it in the south too. My dear brothers and sisters, these are things that are supposed to teach us, to let us to be aware that we are all related. And yet we are not using it, or we are not thinking to see what can we do in this world to get somewhere in life. Do you know why we have all the similarities, whether it comes to our cultures, whether it comes to food we eat or what we wear? If you go to the ancient Africans, even colonialism time, the old pictures of Ghanaians, I'm going to use Ghana only. The Ghana use the northern kente we have today. The Shantis use it. The Fantis use it. The Northerners use the same thing. And it descends all the way to the ancient African. Even the Egyptians use this cloth. That's what we have in common. Another thing we have in common. Later on, people started changing it, adding different colors, so they can put their statement. It became like a material to write on, to insult each other. So they started adding color to change it. The Northerners never change it. If you go to ancient Egypt, even today into Israel, the way they bury in those areas, with the cloth they used to bury, is the same thing that we still use in the north to bury our dead. If anyone that is getting old, always buy their burial cloth, a special made from the ancient Israelites, the Hebrew people, buries cloth. We still use it today in the north to bury people. What we don't realize is that we West Africans are the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelite, that left our kingdom and migrated from centuries due to fight and collapse of the Hebrew race and Hebrew temples, and descend all the way into West Africa today. The modern Israelites belt is in West Africa, the biggest. That is one of the things that we have in common, and people don't realize. If you go to the biblical Bible, they have passages that talk about the ancient Hebrew Israelites, the lost 12 tribes. One day are going to come back. They are all there, a majority of all the people are in Africa. It's not all of us that can come back as Jewish people. It's not all of us that will belong to the same religion. Some will come as Christians, some will be Muslims, other denominations. And the few will be back into the Hebrew race and Hebrew beliefs. This is some of the things that we have in common. And yet, we still differentiate among each other. My fellow Africans, let's realize that the division that come into our country and continent for ruling purposes, for colonialism purpose, to divide us into ethnic groups so that it will be easier for people to maintain us and be able to do whatever they want to do. Let's not let this thing continue. This packet division to our lower ethnicity groups, we need to try our best to unite as Africans, as the Hebrew race, as the Israelites that lost our homelands and today went into different areas and settled there. That still does not make us to be the same people. We need to think all the similarities, all the food we eat. Today, the southern man will get up and open his mouth and curse everybody and think that, oh, I'm okay, I'm not this person. And the mother to the fact is that any person that is ignorant to call people and curse is a person that is lost in this world and don't know what they are about or what they are or what their left and right is. Because anyone that will open their mouth to say anything negative about a group of people for different reasons is a person that is lost themselves. Because if you are not lost, you won't have negative thought about other people. This division and betrayal of each other is what led to our loss of our kingdom. centuries ago. It's what led to our colonialism, another centuries. And yet, the black man is not waking up to see what damage we're doing to each other. Let's ask ourselves if it's even a myth that blacks first. I remember when I was young, where they used to say civilizations started from Africa. Some people didn't believe it. They go like, what? It's kind of like, how did that happen? How can that be possible? And today it's not a myth anymore, it's true. Civilization started from Africa. The first race that was created in the whole entire planet, as we know today, is the black race. That migrated out of Africa during the Ice Age, populated the whole world. Let's think ourselves. If God created us first and gave a religion to his created people that were the only people on earth, a religion, who would they give it to? The only people that were living at that time. We are to realize that God created us different height, different shapes, maybe at time with the colors. You can find light-skinned person and a black people. Throughout centuries, we always have different colors. For a reason. Because our own Father know deep that with people will always disagree with each other. But it's still in us to agree with each other too. So the example I want to make today, let's use our own fingers to realize if we can have different finger lengths, if we can have different shape of people, whether it's height, color, shape, is indication that no matter what differences we have, but we should learn to look at those different things and put those things aside and realize that no matter what we are doing, we will always have differences, but at the same time, we can make reason well with it and put it aside and move on as a human race. But it's only we Africans that seems to be going the wrong direction, no matter where you look at it. Ghanaians, we have so much in common. There's no languages in Africa, or especially in Ghana, that are not into each other. So if a Southerner think that they have nothing in common with the Northerner, from the biblical all the way to the centuries, couple of centuries later, all the way to the modern Ghana, if you think we have nothing in common, then I bet everybody in Ghana, before you sit to curse a Northerner, do me a favor and grab yourself a DNA kit. Test yourself first. Any beautiful Ghanaian, any handsome man in Ghana, any tall person in Ghana has a northern blood. Because if you guys say we are not related from the ancient African tribes, the Israelites, the Hebrew race, but yet still we are related due to the point during slavery, all the people that were captured from the north and sent into the dungeons in Cape Coast, and then they have to walk hundreds of miles to get to the shipping area. All the ladies that were left and those that were taken by the chiefs to marry, you guys descend from those people. If you guys say we are not related from the ancient Hebrew Israelites, then we are related by slavery due to the point that the Northerners were the majority. We agree that we are all Africans, related, descend from whatever we are, the North, all the people that were captured from the North all the way into West Africa were related to them. And then if the Southerners say they are not, we are not saying we are not. We are. Then everybody that is in the South today have a northern blood on you due to the colonialism and the slave castles being in the South, that they put the northerners, the northern women and some of the men in there. That's how we are related. We need to put this self-haterism aside. We need to put division aside. We need to stop insult in Ghana. Africans, we can never get anywhere in life if we don't unite. We can never get anywhere in life when we don't love each other. It's okay. We have the right to belong to anything that we belong to, whether it happen to religion, whether it happen to be political parties. It's okay to belong to a different thing. But at the same time, let's unite. Yes, I know we'll always have a few that will fall out of the wagon. We always, no matter what it is, in any family, we always have the bad apple, which is in any group, you have the bad apple. So, but if we can put our differences aside and realize that no matter what it is, let's love one another. Let's stand as one. Let's defend each other. Let's support each other. Keeping silent and trying to pull one group down does not make you a better person. The question we always have to ask ourselves, if we load ourselves every day in churches, load ourselves every day in mosques, any temple, any religion you belong to, but at the end of the day, our hearts are darker than charcoal, then we must as well not to even go to the church or the mosque or any religion you belong to. Because if you cannot do the word of God, and if you cannot love your fellow human being, then what's the purpose of doing those things? They believe that you do something bad today, tomorrow you go pray and they forgive you. You do it tomorrow, next you do it again and they forgive you. It's not true. Those that have the heart and can see and can sense things, any pure race, any pure black person with a kind heart can see glimpse of some of the distance. You can even sense it and see things if you're really pure person who love every human being in this world, who never have any button. Or I don't say you won't judge someone, but at the end of the day, how you recognize with a person, how you recognize the person as a human being is what makes the difference. How you treat the person as a human being is what makes the difference. Because if you are a pure person from the ancient group of race that got out of the north, southeast into the west, I believe you, my dear brothers and sisters, the honest truth is that you can sense it and you can feel it. You just have to believe it in your heart that there is a purpose for our being here. There is a purpose of us to love each other. There is a purpose why we have to stick together as one. Because the betrayal of each other is what makes us to fall out of this wagon for a long time. And until we correct this issue, till we love one another as God's children, as the first race in this world, we are not going anywhere. Because this betrayal is still continue. Because God is our creator who said we should love one another. And then the person that created us and gave us his commandment to follow. And we humans decided that we were never going to follow what he put us in here to follow. What do we think is going to happen? Our Father will be watching us to struggle, suffer, go through whatever we're going through, till the day we stand together firm to love one another, regardless our differences, regardless our color backgrounds. Then our Father will be there for us. Let's think what a black man and woman went throughout the world over upon centuries. The only race that go through hell and back and still say amen to the Lord and still say God is great and still believe the Father is up there. That shows all of us that we are his children. We are his first created people. He created us first. And every person in this planet descended out of a black person. It's not a myth, it's the truth. You can search it. My curiosity in me led me to realize that for a child at the age of 10 wondering, who am I, where did we came from, to get the answers in life, and my way of thinking about this world has changed so much. So do all of us. Because if you know where you are coming from and know where you're going to head later on, whatever happened in this world, does not bother you too much. You realize no matter what it is, there will always be ignorant people. It's we, the few that are not ignorant, our duty to make sure all of us understand the word of God, to make sure all of us put our selfishness aside and love one another as it were meant to do in this world. I have nothing to offer. The little word my Father put into me, the kind heart I have for unity, calling upon all our people to unite and stand together as one, is all that I have to offer. We need to think about this. This division needs to stop. We all are God's children. May the Lord bless all of us. And so as the light, those that are in the darkness, my Father God, help them to see this light, to realize no matter how greedy we are in this world, at the end of the day, none of the things we are looking for would follow us anywhere in life. Whether you are from the south, east, north, west corner in Ghana, we all are related. And anyone that think I'm lying about what I'm saying in my video, search it. Today, thanks to the world, the computer, the internet generation, anything that you want to see in this world, 800 years ago, 400 years ago, you can see it. Even to go into like 1,000 years ago, you can see it. Anyone that say that I'm sitting here lying, go ahead and search it. And anyone that think that I'm lying about everybody related to us, test yourself and see who you're going to be related to. Maybe majority of you guys will be related to me since I'm from the north too. That's what my video is about today, is unity. Let's put our differences aside and love one another, regardless our religions, political affiliation. We are all humans. We're all God's children. Let's love one another. And it doesn't matter. We all belongs to each other. Every person in this planet descended out of a black person, an African. Let's love each other. That's what is important. We need each other to survive this world we live in today. Thank you.